All right then. Hello everybody and welcome to the inaugural episode of the Uncle Cyborg Show. I am Super Nolan Man and joining me today is the Hyrule King, Bo Mitchell. Bo, how are you doing today?
Hello. Pretty good.
Fantastic. We also have with us Mafu, aka, well, actually he's just Mafu.
Hello.
Mafu, how are you doing?
We'll find out in about 2 minutes.
Right? Yeah. So before we even begin the video here, I need to know, well, we've already talked about this a little bit. It sounds like each of us got spoiled a little bit on the contents of the announcement. Is that right, everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
So
think
we
I'm
are, we are recording this at 9:05 p.m. The trailer went live at, what did I text you guys? 5:09 in the morning, our time. Out here in the West Coast. So it's been a while. So I've been trying to stay blackout. I told everybody, like, I just put up a post right in the morning on Facebook, which was a bad idea, but I said nobody asked me about Switch 2 until tomorrow, and immediately just start getting a bunch of questions about Switch 2. And I can only imagine that people thought that this was out of, like, not being able to process the announcement, because I didn't put anything about trying to avoid spoilers. So that might just be on me. I might have been asking for it. But I literally was not. It was literally the opposite. We could talk later about what we're spoiled on if we want to go into it. But now, before we're starting, knowing this video is 2 minutes and 22 seconds, because the second it loads up, and each of us saw the video in our feeds. We didn't watch it, but it was in our feeds. We know it's 2 minutes and 22 seconds, which, by the way, if this is intentional, that's pretty dope. For Switch 2, that's 222. I imagine that's got to be intentional.
I'm disappointed they're calling it the Switch 2.
Yeah, we do know that much because you pull it up. It says Switch
Super
2.
Nintendo Switch would have been cool.
Yeah,
I'm still a little bit disappointed, but I get it. That makes sense.
I
Switch 2.
Share a lot of that sentiment. We'll come back around to that in just a moment here. But knowing this is a shorter video, are there any expectations you have in what we do or do not have revealed today? Let's start with the Hyrule King.
Well, I mean, I think they'll definitely do the flip around like they did with the Switch 1, where you see like the whole console, like a cinematic thing.
Okay.
I mean, obviously they'll, switch, like, do the clicking of the controllers again because it's iconic. I feel like they're gonna show something, like a game, like it running.
Sure. Okay.
I don't think that they'll go into specifics of like opening it up and like here's the HDMI port and like probably none of that. But
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's all I got.
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah. Matthew, does this change what you were expecting out of it?
No, here's what I think. It's going to start off with a long shot of like from the behind, right? It's going to zoom all the way in for like 2 minutes, right? And it's going to turn around, boom, Skyrim Switch 2, baby.
Yep,
launch
Skyrim
title
revealed as the first and only launch title for the Switch 2. Everything else will come at least the following day.
I really have no expectations. I imagine it's probably going to be something Mario, I'd assume, would be on the screen, if I had to guess, but
that would be a good idea, yeah. I mean, we know Metroid Prime 4 is coming, so that would be a safe bet to do.
Yeah.
That they might do, because
it was the original, I guess.
Is Zelda coming out on it? Or no?
We don't know a whole lot about games
or
for the Switch 2 because they've not been saying it. I mean, they've been intentionally not trying to
they'll put
show their hand, right?
Tears of the Kingdom on.
It's
like
100% going to be there, we can talk about later how we think it'll show up there, whether it's going to be just through backwards compatibility or if it will receive some kind of update or something like that. But we don't know anything yet. It's sheer speculation on that.
What are the odds they just show nothing? It's just like, hey, here it is.
Right? A still frame for 2 minutes, and it zooms in for 22 seconds beforehand. Yep. Well, I guess we're about to find out. Let me share screen here. Get a full screen, and then you losers got to settle for it being just a little thumbnail. Kidding. Okay, Switch is on screen. You guys are seeing everything?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, it's actually going now.
Sweet.
That's cool. Oh.
Got an ASMR video going on here. I'm going to be watching this as I go to sleep.
Oh, that's actually nice.
Week, quarter and a half.
Oh, wow. Really big stand. That's so much better than the original Switch.
And it's flexible.
Wow. Those are
More joy.
Considerably bigger. Okay.
Man, I
good,
love
'cause
this. I love these renders.
Oh, man.
They plug in or something?
So I guess you like slot them in? That's interesting.
This beat is so hot.
I like how they have the Joy-Cons drift into the shot.
Joy-Con drift confirmed.
Oh yeah, they just stick
No,
down
I'll
the side.
actually, well, we'll talk about that later.
Oh, man.
Let's see.
If that's, there's no way that's the
They
actual
changed the
sound
sound.
when you do it IRL.
They changed it. Yep.
But-
Oh, no.
That would be really cool.
Man, that's so hot. This right here is the Super Bowl commercial. 100%.
There it is.
Mario Kart 9.
Yep. Nice.
Oh man, Mario Kart 9. A curved dock. Okay.
Oh, man.
Man,
There's
if
one
it
thing I
makes
gotta
that
bring up.
sound- If it makes that sound IRL.
Nice.
That would be great
be
if
so
that was
cool.
the sound it actually makes. Oh, we got some announcements
There's no
here.
way.
Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games
Oh.
as well as Nintendo Switch games with a disclaimer about that.
Yes. Good.
Nintendo Direct for the Nintendo Switch 2 on April 2nd. And this
Okay.
was from Nintendo of America, so that date is correct. Okay.
I can
Nice.
handle April. That's not too bad.
All right. We are now in the Switch 2 era of human history.
Dead.
So, okay, let's start this. Let's start this.
Amazing. It's
There's
really
a lot
cool.
to break down here, and we're gonna break down all of it. But let's start with this. Just first reaction. I'll start with you this time, Matthew. Matthew, does this trailer do it for you? Like, does this make you more excited for the Switch 2, or do you think they should have handled this differently? What are you thinking?
I see a lot more things that I like on it. The jack on top is cool. Did I see right where there's two? There's one on the top and bottom. Or did they move it
we'll
from
have to
bottom
look.
to the top?
I'm not.
I think
I'm
they
not
moved
sure.
it from
might have
bottom to
been-
top.
okay.
So the current Switch, all models, it's down below, and then you have
Mhm.
on this one, yeah, the USB-C little port up there on top.
Yeah,
At least
that's
that's what I'm
nice.
seeing.
Because it was always hard playing. Like if you want to charge it and play it.
So, how has your hype level like shot through the ceiling, or do you feel like like I guess they had to announce it, might as well do it like this?
It was nicer than I thought it'd be.
In what
Yeah.
way?
The actual the look of it. Because the original Switch, when the original Switch came out, it looked kind of dated.
Sure, yeah.
And so this
Yeah, I
one,
can see that.
this one's a lot more like fun looking. I like the little. They pretty much at least for what I saw, they updated on all the stuff that was kind of my complaints about the original.
Yeah, I like this form factor. I'll talk about size later. Not that matters too much, but no, I'll just talk about it now. Playing the Switch in bed I've always felt like after a couple minutes the Switch just gets really heavy.
Yeah.
And seeing the
Yeah. Oh man,
this is
totally
so plus
does.
sized. I feel like that's going to get worse. Fortunately for me, I still have that little mount that I can just set it, attach it to the bed frame and just look up at it. But then I can't turn on my side. And also, my wife will tell me to turn
Yeah, I
it
was
off.
about to say, I'm sure your wife appreciates that.
Yeah, very much does not appreciate that. But yes, I'm super into this form factor. And the style of it. First, the Switch itself was already like a far cry from the Fisher Price toy that was the Wii U. Um, it, I feel like the Leapfrog logo was going to pop up when I first pulled up the Wii U, but sorry, I'm not sure if you guys were able to hear that in the background. But the Switch, okay. The Switch was kind of a step up from there, but yeah, it just looks so kind of fragile, kind of playful. Like it looked like something made by a toy maker, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this looks like, to me, it looks like tech. Like this looks like, LG or someone stepped into the game, and wanted to make something that was very
look.
Yeah, sleek is a good word. Good word. That black with the colors kind of underneath, like that.
Yeah,
I think that's what's doing it for me. And those button faces are immaculate. But
I'm excited to see if they do like a green underneath that black would be really cool for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I do like those colors though too. They're pretty neat.
Yeah, because when we looked at it there, the base of it, no colors underneath. It's just in the Joy-Con there. So yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. I hope we don't get the full movement to how the Joy-Con were before, but at the same time, I don't see them making a bunch of different ones that are black with just different colors on the inside.
Yeah,
but I am with you that green would be so good.
Yeah, that would
be
cool.
so good.
I'm sure. I mean, yeah, there's gonna be a bunch of different ones. That's what they always do.
Yeah. Well, but let's talk about you since you brought it up. How are you feeling after this trailer? Is this what you expected? Were you looking for more? Did you get more than you bargained for?
I'm pretty hype about it. Yeah, like I mean, pretty similar to what you guys are feeling. Like the sleek, like modernness of it is really cool, and like the roundedness of it too, like looks really nice. The one thing I will say, like I'll have to look at the video again, but there's like those little, like how it connects. It's got like those little things on the inside. I wonder if somebody hit it in too hard, if it would like snap off. I don't. Yeah, maybe not. But like, yeah.
So everybody talked about we got spoiled on little things, right? So this chip sticking out for the Joy-Con is one I got spoiled on. And I've already seen a lot of discourse around it. There is a lot of people bringing that up. But here's the thing. The way that the Joy-Con is shaped is there's a little... There's the outer shell that meshes with what is visible of the Switch. But even before you get to where that chip goes, there's another kind of inside block that has to get into the Switch first before that little chip can touch anything. So that is actually protecting it to keep it from snapping. So even if you tried to break the Joy-Con off like this, it would they would have to pull out before that little thing can touch anything, but it's also so far in there. It's like you've got, like an E-shaped kind of thing and E-shaped kind of thing. And then this is what it looks like here. But this is just so far inside that you have to get in the correct shape before this can even be touched. So I think that they have, I guarantee that they have workshopped this to heck and back, that they are going to, I'm sure that they handed it to a kid and said, please try to break this thing off. In a natural way. Like I'm positive anybody can just with a pair of pliers can yank that thing out. But I mean, you can say that about so many things. I can yank the thumbsticks off my DualSense there if I wanted to. But
And considering the Xbox has a controller where like literally the pieces come out,
right? Yeah.
so it's not.
That's true. Yeah, that's
Yeah. Granted, I don't know how many people are given the Elite controller to
Yeah.
6-year-old.
That's true.
But all right. Well, I
Yeah.
can say for myself that everything in this trailer I had seen before in leaks.
yeah.
And I feel like most people in kind of our space had seen most of it in leaks, or at least seen it in part. So there was nothing in here that was new for me, aside from, of course, that look at what we have to assume is Mario Kart 9 or 10, possibly. It could just be Mario Kart X when it gets announced. I've heard people throwing around Mario Kart World.
Mario Kart World.
But we'll come to that in a second. I see the hand, Matthew. But for myself, I am just whelmed. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm not underwhelmed. I think this presentation is pretty sweet.
Yeah,
It's
not
just
like an
it's so
in-depth.
exactly, and we've got that coming, and we'll talk about that. But for myself,
Yes.
I'm of course going to hype it up, and I'm going to think back to Switch 1 and seeing that reveal for the first time. And of course, seeing a lot of Breath of the Wild, which is already a hotly anticipated game. There's not been a game in history other than maybe by the time GTA 6 comes along, maybe Elden Ring is in that same sphere, but I don't think that there was a hype like there was for Breath of the Wild after people saw those E3 demos and stuff. So that to me is kind of intrinsically tied with the Switch reveal, but also they showed a lot more about the practicality of the Switch and just gave us a lot of different looks at it. This was very much just like a little form and concept presentation, and it to me it makes sense because with the Switch they had to really prove a concept. They're coming off the Wii U, which was as much as I love so many games on the Wii U, the Wii U was a disaster for them. There were questions about if they were ever going to recover as a console making company, or if they were going to have to, cut those divisions off and just focus on software. And so they had a lot riding on this. They had to really prove to people why they wanted that Switch, and it was a new concept. Everybody knows what a Switch is now, but also the idea of a Switch and what has come out of it between your ROG Ally, between your Steam Deck and stuff like that. And this is just taking it to that next step for people. So they don't need to show us as much. They don't have anything that they need to prove. And I think they're going to let their software lineup speak for itself in April and let that software show all the little details and specs that we're wanting to hear about. But
that'd be cool seeing the new games running on the new. I'm sure it'll be like a big upgrade.
Man, and have I got a thought on that? Oh yes, Matthew.
Before we leave the Wii U, as bad as it was, it had some of my favorite graphics.
There's some really cool games on Wii U.
Just kind of like it wasn't like super like just like the style, I guess. Like specifically, I think there's like a.
Is there a particular game that sticks out? Because I know for me, Xenoblade Chronicles X is the Wii U game that I think of.
I wonder if it was maybe because Nintendo was always in like 480p, so maybe it was just like the newer. But I remember like Yoshi, I remember the Yoshi game looked really good, and then also like there was
Holy Word.
Yeah, there was like a compilation pack of like different like mini games kind of. And the different like
Nintendo Land.
Yeah, they had a lot of different like fabrics and stuff.
That was it.
And like water, like the water effects. It looked really good, but yeah.
Oh, you're talking about the Yoshi game still?
No,
just in Nintendo
Land. Yeah, like a lot of different.
Okay. Yeah,
I think as bad as it was, it had a lot of like they were able to do a lot with it, with what it was.
Oh yeah, totally. It was definitely a step up from the Wii. I mean, the console itself was not bad. I mean, form factor and obtuse nature.
And when did it come out? 2012, right? Or 2013?
2014.
2014.
No?
Okay.
No. Excuse me.
Because I think Madden 13 was on it, and that would have come out in 2012. Because remember they had like a whole lot of like initial launch third-party games?
So it came out shortly before the PS4 and Xbox One. So I think it would have been 2013 is when the Wii U
That
came out.
sounds right. Yeah.
Okay.
They were just
Yeah, because I know
they
like
were
Skyward Sword was a year or two before it.
yeah.
So that would have been.
I would put money on 2013, but I won't. I will not put money on it. But I
November
would,
18th,
but I
2012.
won't. 2012. Yeah, should have bet money. Anyways,
First home console you could play in the bathroom. If you unplugged it and took it to the bathroom, and you could play it in there.
hey, I remember
That's the most
one of
important.
my brothers. I won't say which one. I remember one of my brothers taking it in the bathroom. Literally within 3 days of that thing showing up in our house. And you know what? The Switch 2 just delivered on what the Wii U promised. Or the Switch delivered on what the Wii U promised.
Yeah.
And everybody takes their phone in the bathroom, right? Like, that's not a surprise. Everybody takes their phone in the bathroom. I've taken my Switch in the bathroom. Like any civilized person, I disinfect it regularly. So, but I mean, the Wii U was just too clunky.
Yeah.
no judgment. Just the Wii U was just
I
not the thing
think-
I wanted to take in the bathroom.
I also think because since the Switch came out, the Steam Deck came out, the Ally came out, so like there's been a lot of people doing their own kind of version of I guess it's more of a handheld
Yes.
computer than a Switch. But seeing that they kind of had to go the route they did, because if they came out with something that was still kind of like boxy or funky or old looking, then they would have got dunked on by everyone online.
Yeah, they need something that
Yeah.
looks as new or newer than what their competition is
and
doing.
I like the choice. At least, obviously, they'll probably come out with other ones, but I like the choice of it just being like gray. It looks a little more like adult.
Yeah, matte black. Yeah.
Because like if you're walking with a Switch with the blue and red Joy-Cons and you're playing like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it's true.
If I'm playing the home, I don't
love
mind it. But
those
if I'm playing in front of
Joy-Cons.
people, I don't want to pull up with the clown head
gotcha.
Joy-Cons.
I gotcha. So now this trailer ends with some bits of information for us. First of all, confirms the console's releasing in 2025. No other date aside from that, but 2025. Is this a surprise?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
No,
No.
I think I'm guessing that.
Yeah.
Do consoles ever get delayed? Really? I feel like they kind of just
I'm
come
sure
out.
there's one that I can't think of off the top of my head.
We do not hear about it when it happens. We have in post heard about delays. Never from any kind of like official, like a company is not going to say they're delaying it.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's too many moving pieces. Like you have to make sure that when you put out your console date that you're hitting that date.
Yeah.
But they'll delay things internally
Yeah.
sometimes. We know that the Switch, that what we have of the Switch now has been in production since I want to say June of last year is when
Okay.
they began full production on it.
Because
So
there's
they're
like
already
way
getting-
too much leaks coming out I feel like the amount of leaks coming out, like what else could they possibly like leak, if it came out next year, like they pretty much did the whole thing. So like, well, I don't know what they could possibly be working on. So it's because of all
People
the
get
information
rabid
coming
with
out, it's less surprising.
Yeah, not a surprise at all. If anything, I'm just surprised that we're not getting a date for this. Everything that we've gotten makes us feel very imminent, but I don't think that this is a late in the year thing. I'm not expecting this to be a holiday release or your typical like September to November kind of time frame. A lot of people like to release these. I think this is a summer release.
Yeah, and with
personally.
the direct being in April,
see
I
that,
imagine
yeah.
the direct it's going to be blah, 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 and then right at the end it's going to be like, oh, coming out June like 15th or whatever. It's like I think it's going to be really quick after that because they like to cash in on like really quick hype.
Yeah,
Sometimes,
and everybody does. You don't want your console information just staying for so long. I mean, the Xbox Series X getting revealed at Game Awards, all the hype died down. That by the time and they didn't announce the date at that time, and they didn't really go into it. They just showed that really fun little visual trailer with the that felt like a 5 Gum commercial.
Oh yeah,
and
I remember that.
I remember
That was fun.
I remember we were. This was because this was the same year that Sekiro won Game of the Year. You were watching it with me there, and I remember
I remember that. Yeah,
I
That was
remember one of us turned to the other and mentioned like oh, it feels to chew 5 Gum.
cool.
But
Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, I'm with you, Matt. I think this is still fairly imminent. You don't put out a trailer in January to release it in November.
Do we have any idea of price point?
We can take bets on that.
They're probably I reckon they're probably going to be still around the 300 mark, I assume.
That's what I would guess. Yeah, that'd be a good amount.
Well, because then what was the PS5 Pro? 600?
PS5 Pro was
Pro is
700.
more.
It was
700.
$699.99.
Okay.
The base PS5 at launch was 500. Now
Yes.
it is 500 without a disk drive, and then add the disk drive for an additional $50.
Okay. That's kind of funny, man. Like PC price, it used to be like way more expensive to do PC gaming, but now for 700, you could probably on sale get a pre-built for that. So
Yeah,
That's true.
and especially
that's
since
crazy.
portable PCs are a thing now.
Yeah.
And I don't just mean like your ROG, your Steam Deck, but like literal like portable PCs, basically just laptops.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2025. This makes sense for everybody. Bo, are you feeling summer-ish for that release?
I was actually thinking it'd be interesting. I don't know, like if it makes sense from a business perspective, but if they had the direct in April and then they released it in May, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if they would do that or if they just push it. I feel like they're probably gonna do June.
They say you with in stores
If I
now.
bet on it.
Wouldn't that be something? So
They would not be able
Wasn't that
to
That's how-
handle the rush of people buying it.
exactly. I mean, have you guys seen what's happening with this Pokemon Prismatic thing with the card game? That like Costco's are having to have like, armed security escorting people to where they can pick up the thing and walk back. It's kind of crazy.
Oh my gosh.
But I
wild.
mean, that would be a crazy strategy to combat the scalpers, right?
Yeah.
So, I would love May. I want this thing as soon as possible,
That'd be cool.
even though I can't afford it right now. I just want it to be here.
Hey, you can
But-
trade in your Switch for Switch 2.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm like, I could probably
Dump
get
your Switches
Probably
now.
what I'm gonna do.
I could probably
Dump your
get
Switches now.
I could probably get the Switch traded in for like $200 of credit, and then pay the additional 200. I think this comes out at 400. I would love 350. I think 350 would be fantastic, but the Switch is still being sold at 300. The Switch OLED is 350. I think when this comes out,
That's a
they
good point, yeah.
finally drop price a little bit for those, and I think your Switches drop. They just cut $50 on each of them. But the way that they're showing this here, I kind of feel like Nintendo might be trying to continue selling Switches while the Switch 2 is taking off. I think they're kind
Yeah,
of
I'm
looking
sure
at
they're
this
playing
almost
on
like
that
a
a
new
little bit.
SKU more than they're looking at phasing out the other. Although what they've said here does make it sound pretty clear that there's going to be some exclusive games for Switch 2. And let me come to that here. Oh, sorry.
Actually, yeah, that was the screen I wanted you to pull up. Was that one?
Yes,
actually.
I'm going to come back to that in just a second here. So,
Like
so
there's
you,
fine for it, and it's like, I need to see that.
yes. So you mentioned May.
Yeah.
The reason I don't think May happens is because I don't think we hear anything else about the Switch until April 2nd. I think them calling the shot
Yeah.
on saying April 2nd, you're going to have a direct on this, tells us do not expect to hear anything from us until then. Again, I think that this last half of the trailer where the music kind of shifted and it just had all the different, like the those blue and pink hues in the back, is transitioning into showing off a new Mario Kart of some kind. I think that gets clipped out for a Super Bowl commercial. And
Totally. I can see that.
and yeah, because this is just for the regular consumers. That's what I meant to come around to when I was talking about hype earlier. Is that this isn't for us? We already know the Switch 2 is coming out. We have a good idea of what we're supposed to expect today. But like, McKenna didn't know anything about it. She watched the trailer as soon as she got up this morning. My a lot of my friends and family on Facebook were talking about it, and they're like, "Wow, looks cool and stuff like that." And I'm just trying to not see anything about it. But I feel like this was for them. This was very much for them, and Nintendo was like, "Sucks for the rest of you. You shouldn't have peeked at your presents, right?"
Yeah.
At least they weren't like my mom growing up saying like, hey, if you peek your presents, I'll take him back.
Have you looked at the comments for the video yet? Some of the people are like,
I have
Nintendo
not.
came out angry and just decided to be like, here.
Okay, that's it.
One thing, the thing that I
got
got spoiled on, I was watching there's this YouTube channel, watch Piantopedia. They do like videos about different like Mario and Mario Universe games and stuff. And someone in the comments, because today he put out a Donkey Kong Country video, and someone in the comments said this is fitting given his redesign in Mario Kart 9. And so he looks like the old Donkey Kong.
Well, yeah, we're gonna come to that when we do it. After I go through a few more questions here, we're gonna do a frame by frame. But let's start with this. That I would just want to go through each of these little screens of information. So first, 2025, we've talked about. Now, plays Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games, as well as Nintendo Switch games, with a little asterisk here. And this is another thing I've seen some hubbub about.
Digital Switch games.
So, no,
of course.
Yeah, well, hear me out. So Nintendo Switch 2 plays both physical and digital Switch games. Certain Nintendo Switch games may not be supported or fully compatible with Switch 2. Details will be shared on the Nintendo website at a later date. Let me make this one clear for us, because I think a lot of people are going to take off and start worrying about this, being like they're going to be picking and choosing and stuff like that. An example of not supported
would be not supported.
An example of not supported is 1-2 Switch. Or Nintendo Labo, because this new Switch does not have the same hardware. It doesn't seem to have the little the infrared camera and stuff like that.
Yeah. I thought you were just like 1-2 Switch sucks. So
No. It's literally not supported. It just doesn't work on this console anymore because this console does not have the literal hardware required. Fully compatible would be, I think, ARMS or something of that nature, where it was using some of that, but there's still a game without it. So that's what I think this is about.
Look at how much bigger that is.
It's so much
bigger.
That's like it's almost
like considerable.
It looks like there's almost double the screen space. Am I crazy, or does it look like it's a different ratio too?
1.5 times bigger.
Yeah, that's probably better. But it doesn't look quite as as wide.
There's a different ratio here. If you look at the bezel,
it's definitely smaller.
The bezel is the bezel. I think these sides are about the same side, but look at how narrow the top section of that is. So this is a different aspect ratio.
Less, yeah.
But when we do a frame by frame here, I want to show something about it. I'm curious. I wonder if this is a fake bezel. And we may have some options in terms of how much of the screen it takes up. But we'll see. So yeah, I think that people are making a mountain out of a molehill with that. Yeah. They're not going to be taking away games from us, but I do want to call out
stuff that you wouldn't even miss probably.
Yeah. Now, plays Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games are the first games coming out for the Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2, or do we get what PlayStation and Xbox did, where your first year or two, it's across both? Because Nintendo is they're inconsistent in their history. What do you guys think?
I imagine
we'll
probably a
get-
mix.
Yeah, I think we'll get a few of the big ones. Like obviously Metroid Prime 4.
Oh yeah, because it was announced for Switch. You gotta put it there.
I don't feel like Mario Kart 9 would, but maybe. I don't know. It depends on like how crazy it is. It didn't seem like it was a huge step up from the trailer anyway. So maybe it could run on Switch 1.
Yeah, there's we'll see what happens there.
And it doesn't help that it was so small as well.
Yeah. There's something that I'm not
it's
heard
hard to tell
anybody.
from a video.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Oh, I also want to point out what I like about this graphic. First, I like that they use the same pair of hands for both of them here, and you can like literally see like how far they're able to reach and stuff like that. But also, I like that they confirm the cartridge goes in the same spot, because you can literally see like they circle the cartridge and then point down to where it's going to be.
At first, I thought that meant that the Switch 2 was going to have a bigger cartridge. I was like, all right.
It does look kind of bigger when you first look at it.
Yeah, I think it's just it's because it's next to stuff that's bigger, probably.
Yeah, I'm curious if they do I don't think they're necessarily going to do the 3DS thing with it, but we'll see.
Not.
They'll let us know for sure in April. Any other thoughts here before I move on to
I think I can move on from the screen,
next thing? Cool.
I was thinking that's what I was thinking was like, probably the hardware stuff, because you know how like because I just got the PSVR recently, so you know how like the newer stuff kind of doesn't have the same compatibility. Like some games came over because they were able to change stuff, but some games weren't. They were kind of built on a different engine, and so they weren't able to bring them up to the PSVR 2. I wonder if it's going to be something like that, where it's like kind of outdated stuff that can't.
I feel like that's
like function on
more
the new stuff.
A weird like VR thing.
Yeah,
I feel like most stuff with the Switch 2 will come over.
I wonder why I mentioned it then, if it's going to be most of it.
So
it's just they have to
probably legally
cover themselves. Yeah, legally.
Most people don't get mad later. Put it in the fine print now.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
I mean, Sony did the same thing with the PS5 and backwards compatibility, so it makes sense to do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna in terms of Switch 2 things playing on Switch 1 and differences and stuff like that, I'm going to refrain, because there's something that I've been kind of gestating on. Something I noticed in this trailer that I want to point out that I've not seen or heard anyone talking about it. And as I've been kind of looking through, seeing comments, I'm not seeing anything about it. I've got a thought that I think you guys might find interesting, but we'll come to that when we actually do the frame by frame. Nintendo Direct regarding the Nintendo Switch 2, April 2nd, 2025. And I know that that's not February 4th, because this is posted by Nintendo of America. I'm sure if you go to the Nintendo UK, there says 2/4/2025. So this is April 2nd, 100%. This is not just in a couple weeks.
People questioning that?
In the comments.
I'm sure somewhere, yeah.
But this is it. If Nintendo of America posts it, they're going to go with the American format there. I wish we could all just get on the same page. I'm fine with, just for the sake of ease, going with the rest of the world with the date then month, but whatever.
Give an inch, they take a mile.
That's true. I don't want them to take my feet away.
Yep.
So
yeah, what the heck are meters?
Exactly. Yeah. Meter hardly know her. Oh, well, I guess that's why you would.
Have you met that girl you were talking to online? Meet her. I hardly know her. April 2nd, 2025. We'll probably talk before then about, I'm sure April 1st or March 31st, we're going to talk about what we think we will see in the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. So I don't want to go too in depth about it, but generally, what are you guys expecting with this?
Definitely showing more games. That's for sure.
I feel like they're
they'll
gonna have
probably
a
go over
big game.
specs. Oh, like a big reveal.
Yeah, like you know when like the Switch was coming
Probably.
out, it was all Breath of the Wild, you know. So I wonder if they're gonna put out some like main game that they're doing all their stuff. Well, no, I guess they also had Mario, the Odyssey as well, was at the same time, wasn't it? Or no, was that a launch title? I can't remember.
It
It's a long
wasn't
time
a
ago.
launch title.
Okay,
It was a
never mind
holiday
then.
one.
Okay, so yeah, so kind of like with Breath of the Wild, where you got like the main
The
thing that
main
you're
focus.
yeah, all the presentations when you go on Jimmy Fallon and you take it, it's gonna have that game. So you got the dudes in the audience who don't speak English, but they're just like smiling and nodding because you're playing with their thing on stage. It's like I hope they're saying nice stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that this is going to be. I don't think that that's necessarily going to be like 50-50 in terms of time time allocation. Well,
They don't really
I think
do.
that. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So we're kind of in an interesting spot with this, where we have not had like a major full direct in quite a while. I think we
Yes.
had one in
It's been a
September. It might have actually been the summer. It might have actually been like June or July. I can't remember if we had a September direct actually. So, but I know we did have one during the
one
summer.
in summer. Yeah.
So it's been some time since we've seen anything. And Nintendo Switch, of course, needs to keep putting out software, even though they've got this new console coming out. So I'm kind of mixed here, where I expect that this is going to be mostly hardware focused, and then we get like a scissor reel of third-party support, and then they'll highlight some of like definitely the launch lineup. Like they're going to show us 100%. We are going to see the next mainline Mario Kart game at this event, and it will be the launch title for this. And we'll probably get maybe a little spattering of other things going on. I'm sure we hear about Metroid Prime 4 at that time. But I feel like this is going to be mostly hardware focused, and just a little spattering of games, just so we have an idea of what's coming out imminently, and then they'll just blow it out in the summer with like a full-size direct.
Yeah, they're gonna have to spend a good deal of time talking about, is it Nvidia they made a deal with, right?
Yes.
You're gonna have to spend a good amount of time talking about that, because I still have no idea what that even is.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will have to talk about that. And just to get this one out of the way,
all the features.
absolutely. And I don't think they'll go super in depth on it, because they've never been like the, you know, they're not bringing up what's the word that everybody is throwing around every time Xbox and PlayStation pull up a thing. I can't believe I can't remember the word.
I know what you're talking about.
All
but
the
I don't
people who
remember
annoy me, it has something to do about just a measurement of power, but
Gigawatts. How many gigawatts
it's
that thing got?
it's something around there. it's something like
Teraflops?
that. Teraflops. Thank you, Matthew.
How many teraflops
That's
that
the
thing
one.
got?
There you go.
Yes, teraflops. They're not talking about
It's not
teraflops
2
here.
teraflops.
I will be.
Yeah.
If they say
It'll be similar to the other one where it had the president come out and he's just shaking the Joy-Con, the ice cubes.
I'm not
You
entirely.
remember?
Oh yeah. I'm not entirely convinced that we'll hear the words 4K even. I know from what we've seen from leaks, it seems that they're prepared to have NVIDIA do some AI upscaling to 4K. We'll see what actually comes of that. But they're just not that type. Like when they talk about things, it's very vague. When they talk about the Wii, it was HD. Sorry, Wii U is when they first used HD, because the Wii technically didn't hit it. They didn't say 720p or 1080p, even though 1080p was common by then. 720p isn't even HD now. Like if you say something is
That's
HD and you
standard
put it on
definition.
720, exactly, that's standard definition. So that's SD. Uh, yeah, it's a curious thing. But this is a new thing for them. They're not having to show off a concept anymore. This is why should we have this second one, and why why we want to choose that over this, the Switch we've already got. Again, I think they're going to kind of mess around with SKUs a little bit, where they're going to try to keep selling the Switch for as long as they can. I believe we're going to continue to see the original Switch in stores until into 2027, before we actually see it, disappear. But we'll see. This is a new track for them.
That would be so cool to just like not opening on this, but like having Breath of the Wild or something, like they show the original footage and then it just like slides over and showing like the upscaled, if it can do that. Oh man, that'd be cool.
Yeah, when we I want to come over to this real quick here. I want to show this again. When we look at the the Mario comparison here, I'm not seeing anything that clearly tells me like one of these is in 4K. Like to me, this looks exactly the same. Just one of them is bigger than the other.
Probably the same, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's something where it'll help you AI upscale onto your screen or monitor, whatever, assuming your monitor supports it. But they're definitely not showing that here. But
I got a big question. Is the dock going to be like actually part of the console, or is it just going to be a HDMI?
Yeah.
It's so.
That's what I want to see.
Leaks have covered this.
Yeah, so this is another one the leaks have covered. It is just a fancy dongle, basically.
Okay.
It does not have any computing power, but that's a similar thing with the actual Switch dock. The Switch dock does not. It has the.
You can put like your internet through it.
So the hardware and everything that it's putting out is coming from your base Switch. The dock doesn't do anything for that. It just basically tells the Switch to push it out at this different resolution, because you can get you get a slightly better resolution on your screen and coming out of the dock. But you can do the same thing actually with just an HDMI cord.
Yeah.
They doing the. I've seen you can pull up videos of people homebrewing it online, and even some people saying that they've been able to get 1080 out of it. But I mean, I wouldn't know anything about that. But so real quick, two things here. With this final thing here, actually a few of them. First, our first look, quote unquote, because I think we've all seen the logo by this point. At least I have. I don't know about you guys.
Oh yeah, it was everywhere. You couldn't escape it.
What do we think about the Switch 2 logo?
Kind of goofy.
It's very safe, but it works. It could have been cooler, but
yeah. I find this incredibly clunky. I think it's clear enough what's going on here, but I'll be honest, like if I look at it for more than just a second, it hurts my eyes trying to figure out what's going on here. Like my brain is just kind of shooting all over the place trying to make heads or tails of this. I don't know about you guys, but in context, like when it's just popping up and going by, I'm like, cool, I dig it. When it was on the dock earlier, I think it looks fine. I think it looks just fine there until I look at it. Until I sit there and look at it, and then I'm like, "Oh, this is like when you look at a word
one thing I'll
for
never
too
be
long,
able to unsee."
And then you're like, "Is that actually a word?"
It looks like O2.
Yeah.
If you just look at that part.
I was saying it kind of looks like an anniversary logo. Like it's supposed to be 20, but they accidentally put it backwards.
I'm with you. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
totally
this looks weird to me. I'm sure it'll work for them. I'm sure that they tried 100 different ways to do it, and they were like,
Yes.
unfortunately, this is the only way that we can do it because we need to have the Joy-Con visible.
Yeah. They could have just made the Switch and then put a 2 in the middle. I don't know.
I don't know.
Hard to say. That
Yeah, it's hard to
Switch
say.
logo by itself is, well, I was going to say it's pretty iconic, but I don't actually know. I think it's
Yeah,
the
they use them
Joy-Con
at, like,
with the
stores
words
and
Nintendo
stuff.
Switch. Yeah.
That's what they use. Like the little was what they use at, like Walmart, I think.
Yeah, but they'll still say Nintendo Switch with it.
Oh.
Yeah,
At least
usually
what
will.
I've seen. I haven't seen it by itself. But so there's that. Also, this is officially the first numbered sequel to a Nintendo console since the Nintendo 64.
Yes.
This is the sequel to the Nintendo 63.
Oh my gosh.
So, but it's the second numbered Nintendo console, but the first one that's actually a direct sequel numbered that way. I mean, Super Nintendo, direct sequel to the Nintendo, but
Wii
as
U.
much as I wanted so bad for this to be called
Wait, the
Super Nintendo
3DS.
Switch.
The third DS.
No,
because there was a DS, the DSi, and then the DS Lite or whatever. So,
But they also had 3DS and 2DS.
before.
oh yeah, the 2DS, the prequel to the 3DS. New
No, it's the
3DS XL.
sequel.
No, it was the new
They-
3DS XL is the prequel.
No, you had the 3DS, and then you're right. You had the 3DS. Then they released the prequel, the 2DS, and then they released the director's cut. That was the new Nintendo 3DS XL.
I wonder if that's how this is going to be. Because remember when
Not
the
a chance.
new 3D? No, when the new 3DS came out, and it was like certain games are going to need this like the little pad thing or whatever.
Yeah, we mentioned that earlier, where the actual
yeah.
cartridge had a little, what do you call that?
Nub.
Sure, a nub. I was going to use a geographical term, for topographical term.
Parallelogram.
No, it's all right. That's geometric term. It's okay. It had this little thing sticking out of it.
Peninsula.
That actually might be the word I'm looking for. No. Is Florida a peninsula? No,
Yeah.
I don't think that doesn't sound
peninsula
right.
is water surrounded on 3 sides.
Perfect. Yeah. So you had this little
that's a
peninsula sticking out of the cartridge. Thank you, Matthew. Did
welcome.
you look that up, or is that off the cranium?
Off the dome.
Nice. So, no, Nintendo Switch 2 experience, series of hands-on events around the world. For details, please check the official Nintendo website. I'll check this later. I'm willing to bet that they haven't given dates for anything.
Yeah, probably not.
Man, anybody feel like a field trip to Seattle? Because
That'd be cool.
Seattle is home base for Nintendo of America. Oh, Scout, what are you eating?
Is there a reason they used to do all their stuff in New York then?
That's
There's
just
a
that
Nintendo shop in New York.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That was just
the
kind of like their
Nintendo
hype,
store is
their
there.
hype place.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do a lot of parties there.
It's
A
true.
lot of
cool
Mario
things.
parties, huh?
Also, how's my audio doing
Yes.
with this up? If I'm not actually click and play on it, is it
Huh.
working fine?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's been fun.
Perfect.
I hear everything.
All right. So let's jump back to the beginning here. So first, are you guys able to see what my scrolling through here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. So
Yeah.
we have things
problem
click
with the
off
stream at all.
here. It's all big and stuff. And then
See here. Do they put the charger on the top and the bottom? That's what I want to see.
let's take a look
yeah.
here. So
It was about to be there.
I'll click play here. I think since I'm not watching your guys' screen, it should be fine.
Yep.
Let's see what we got going on here. So no charger there.
That's the
Just
bottom.
there.
Oop.
That's
And then
the top.
Just there.
Oh,
That's
wait,
the
that's
bottom.
the bottom. Are you sure?
yeah.
That's
Oh,
the
okay.
bottom.
So they've got two. You're
So they got
correct,
two.
Matthew.
Okay, nice.
Oh,
so the
duh,
bottom's
it
for
has to
putting
be
it in.
two.
I was thinking,
Yes,
what, you put it in
that's
upside
right.
down or something? The stand's a lot nicer.
Yeah, that stand is awesome.
Sorry, I got distracted real quick. I'm gonna click and go back real quick so we can go go frame by frame here. So, now headphone jack still here.
Nice.
Do we think no
Yes.
Bluetooth on launch again?
Oh, I hope they fix that because I've tried a couple pairs of Bluetooth earbuds and they do not work.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Beats don't.
Hopefully it is on
Like
launch,
very
but
delayed.
My Beats aren't compatible with it, but McKenna's AirPods are. Whatever.
Yeah.
I've tried a couple other things to get the Bluetooth audio working. It's super inconsistent.
Oh, a dongle, just an aux to Bluetooth dongle. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
With a big old thing on the end.
that would work.
Yeah, if like a piece of metal or tinfoil that just sticks out,
Yep.
and I can turn a
Then
little
you form
dial
it
to.
into rabbit ears.
Oh boy, I'm so old. Fan in the same spot.
Yeah.
Do we see anything over here? Buttons look to be about the same. I'm trying to scoot over just a little bit here. Okay, yeah, power,
Oh
volume,
yeah, those are very similar. Maybe slightly
Yep.
bigger, but not by much.
and then that's just the little USB port growing up there. And then what do we have going on next?
This little guy.
Yeah, the stand. Yeah.
Again, this whole trailer reminds me of oh, I forgot. Since we're switching to our frame by frame breakdown, it's time to cut to ads. Except we have no ads. If you have something you want to sell, we are looking to sell out.
our sponsors.
So please buy us out. Just kidding. We have very low standard of ethics here. We'll sell whatever you want us to. Just sponsor some ads. Just kidding.
I don't know about that.
Anyways, no, I'm just messing around. Anyways, what I wanted to say about this whole trailer, this speaks to me personally because one of my favorite types of videos to watch and what gets me scrolling over and over again is these ultra satisfying 3D renders that people do, where just the
Yep.
sound and the visuals are so perfect and clean and smooth, and they have the little shh and the little doot 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 kind of stuff. It's so perfect, and this hits that so well. Like I've never seen out of a brand, honestly. I've only seen it out of like people doing it. And this makes me think like they went to Corridor Digital and was like, hey, do another one of your little satisfying render competitions for us and just make our commercial. That's what it really feels like here. But it is visually and sonically perfect to me. Sonic.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Oh, the stand. Man, looking at this stand makes me wonder what they were ever thinking with the old one.
Right?
Why was
Yeah.
it never this? the
There's
whole
been so
time?
many times where like somebody bumps it and it just falls over because they did it on the one side
Oh,
that
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
have
yeah.
the part of the stand.
They did it good on the OLED, the like flap,
Oh
But-
yeah, the flap's cool.
but this is a lot more bendy.
So
And it goes down super far. That was cool.
it does, yeah. I mean that goes on
So that's
and
so
on
when
and
you're
on. And
that's
on.
when you're in the bathroom, you can put it on the floor.
So, right, look at that. It looks like it.
Yeah,
It looks
wow.
like it's showing off. Like I don't know why that angle is ever going to be necessary for someone, but it's cool that it does that. I hope that it's nice and firm and that it doesn't just get loose the more time they use it, because I don't want to
Yeah.
have it set like that and then it suddenly just slides out and it's almost flat. And I'm just like, ah. But
I'm sure they
I-
thought of that. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. The USB-C port additionally being on top, perfect, because that was like part of the trouble with
Yes.
this is you can't charge it when you have it in tabletop mode. It was always super annoying. Because when I go to
Yeah,
my
that's true.
flights and I'm trying to use it like that, it's not working out. Now, here's something interesting. Well, first, the button faces here look to me to be more reminiscent of the Pro controller than the
Yeah, they're slightly bigger.
the
Yeah.
Joy-Con. And they're actually going to show us a little bit more of these button faces and kind of click them around a little bit for us. But let's talk about this first. So
Yes.
this is practically, in a practical sense, this is basically what we had before. I know that it's a different form and that it's for it to,
I actually have a
magnetize
comment
in
about
there.
that.
But go for it.
So with it protruding out of the Joy-Con like that, I think it's gonna be a lot easier for people to use it. Like when you just, I have a lot of family members, so we
Oh,
have
yeah.
a bunch of Joy-Cons being passed around.
Yep.
It being stuck out like that, it's a lot easier to press those back buttons. Because that was one of the number one complaints they would always
Yep.
have with when getting a Joy-Con passed to them.
Especially with this now being sized up about, I believe
Yeah,
it's
and
being
it's
sized
bigger.
up about
That's the other thing
30%,
too.
which is pretty significant.
Did they show? Do they have a little cap like the previous one did?
So there is. I'm going to come around to that because I'm going to let you know something interesting about that. I do want to direct your attention over here that this button has changed here.
Oh, you're right.
And then if they show the other one here, sorry. So this is that old share button from before. The other one there, all that we know is it's called the C button. We don't know what it does. There's no C on it, obviously.
You see it, you press it.
Yeah, there's
Right?
nothing there.
Yeah. We will see what that does. So,
Original.
oh yeah, look at those buttons click. So the way that those buttons click
the
are the
clicky.
ways that here, I'm going to see if I can get
Playing the
a nice
Switch for a
little,
long time kind of sucked for that.
So
Like
if
eventually
you-
your
with the
hands get
Joy-Cons.
hot and then just trying to press stuff.
Yeah. So the way these click in, that is not how the Switch Joy-Con buttons click. That is how the Pro Controller buttons click.
Yeah.
Yes, I love the
Because I
controller.
can't stand the Joy-Con button clicks. That looks
it hurts after a
and
while.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love that this is matte, where the Pro Controller is a little more glossy. I'm all about this. But let me take it to. Oh, so that little rare. So you guys know that the Joy-Con joysticks are magnets now, right? They're controlled by magnet
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
to eliminate drift.
Hopefully that.
This was part of the.
Hopefully that fixes that.
Yeah, you have to assume that
They'll
this
find a way.
is in response to that major lawsuit. I mean, you can still, if your Joy-Con are having drift, you can send them into the Nintendo, and they have to fix them for you for free.
Does that ever
And they'll
expire?
send them back to you. I think you have to have purchased them before a certain date.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think that there is a small asterisk on it. But I mean, if you've got your ones from launch or from like the first few years afterwards, those are definitely included there.
Okay.
And the asterisk might have been that there was a window to do it, but I'm still hearing about people doing that and sending them in. So
Yeah.
obviously you can go to. I mean, you
People
can
definitely
type
still
in Nintendo Switch. Or you type in Nintendo fix my Joy-Con, and after like a bunch of angry posts, you'll finally find the official page where you can get that done.
Nice.
But yeah, so seems to be what they're showing off there. That's one that I just want to know what it feels like in my hands. I need to get hands on.
Yeah,
with to see
it
what
looks
that
like it's
motion
going to be
feels
real like floaty. But well, it's
Right?
magnet,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
it
maybe
shouldn't
a
be.
little bit.
Yeah, well, and also with it being magnet powered, assuming that it works as well as you would hope, you can get like some dual sense kind of things going on there, where you have like certain actions you're doing in game, the magnetization gets tighter, so it's harder to move things around, or there's just some resistance that you feel as you're like pushing up
Yeah.
against
Oh,
a
man.
certain type of wall or something like that. I'm curious to
That'd
see
be cool.
if they plan on doing anything like that, or this is just a way for them to be again avoiding drift, which is still a major issue. One of my dual sense controllers has drift. It is an issue with every type of controller that comes out, but Nintendo,
Except for that Xbox Elite, man, the little because you can take out the block B.
Yeah, and then
Or
you
no,
just
can you?
dust it
Or
off
is it
and
just
then
the
put it back
D-pad?
on. You can take everything off.
Oh yeah. That's good.
I don't know if you're necessarily supposed to, but I
Yeah,
know you can.
I don't own ones. Oh yeah, my buddy dropped one and he can't find the D-pad.
Okay.
So
So-
that's the pad.
Oh yeah,
This is the
yeah,
pad
that is
here.
the
So
thing. Okay.
yeah, so I'm gonna let the thing play here, and I'm gonna talk about it after you watch this here.
Oh wow, I didn't realize when I was watching it the first time.
Yeah, those
So-
scooter
It
wheels.
like clicks onto the thing. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Oh, so you guys know that the Joy-Con are now magnetized, right?
Apparently.
So you don't shove them into the sides of the Switch. They have magnets that suction them in. So you
Okay.
get close to it, and they just goes, and they're attached.
That's why they changed the sound effect. I see.
Yes, that's why they changed the sound effect because they don't snap in anymore.
Oh,
They don't
what are all
snap.
the Nintendo
They now
YouTubers
go-
going to do for their intros?
They're now all just gonna go.
Yep.
So
They can't snap anymore. They have to do a different.
Poor guys.
now,
Now they have to go. Watch
So-
somebody do it. They're totally gonna do that.
oh, I
bet
didn't
you.
I didn't see it. Wait, let me see what you're doing here.
That's their new intro instead of snapping.
Yeah, instead of snapping. Yeah. Let's over to this guy.
Quick question before we keep going.
Oh, that
You
was
guys
my favorite.
mentioned.
I loved that so much.
So is Elden Ring coming out on Switch or Switch 2?
Switch 2.
Okay.
It will not be able to run on Switch.
Can run
There's
Dark Souls 3, can?
No, it runs Dark Souls remastered.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
So
Not very well.
now I'm good. I want you to watch what they do here.
They drift.
Right? Yeah, drift. Yeah. So
I made that joke earlier.
now, what do you guys think is happening there? I want to hear from you guys. Why do you think they showed that? Because this is a very specific thing to do with those.
Because they got to have something on. You know what?
Oh, sorry, went a little further back than I meant to.
Maybe they got some kind of rollers on the bottom. And then
What do they kind of look like when they're rolling around
Mouses.
like that?
gates.
There is an infrared sensor on the bottom of those. These are for mouse.
Huh?
Yes.
Huh? What?
Switch now
Yes.
supports mouse and keyboard.
I guess it. Yeah, I guess it does kind of look like a mouse. Now that you mentioned it, That didn't even occur to
Yep.
me because I
So-
think PC when I think
Oh,
of mouse.
I meant it looked like a physical mouse, like a.
Yeah, that's what I was
Or-
saying.
yeah.
Yeah, because you have the little tail hanging off and stuff like that. Oh, things are lagging on my side because because I came back to see you guys. I guess I just have to stay on the screen. That's fine. So yes, we know for sure that there's an infrared sensor on it, and everybody was wondering why that's on there. That it's just an odd place to put it, and it doesn't look like it can pick up things like the weird thing that was on top of the old Joy-Con. And I told McKenna about this recently. I don't know if I ever told you guys about that, but my bet was that this was supposed to be a mouse. And after seeing them demonstrate it like that, I will bet you can bet dollars to donuts that this is for some kind of mouse like optimization there.
That's gonna be your new
so
Zelda puzzles.
Now that you pointed it out, I'm on board with that.
So
Because
and
it
there's
What would you use
totally
it
looks
for?
like it.
so here's a couple things. One, I love how
PC games.
there is so all these
Or PC only games.
all these PC
Oh, yeah.
devs again,
Good point.
Raj Ally and
Steam Deck.
Steam Deck. There's another big one. All these computer type peoples who are putting out their handhelds, none of them can do mouse and keyboard kind of stuff. Well, they can do keyboard, but they can't do mouse support. Good grief,
Yeah,
dog.
you gotta plug them in.
So them showing this off kind of like to me is like them stunting on these computer manufacturers trying to jump into the console game here and be like, fine, if you're going to copy our
Would
homework, I'm
be.
going to copy yours. And
That would
then
be
they're going
nuts
to one
to
up them.
play like Civilization with a Switch
Yes.
Joy-Con.
Exactly.
How
Things
would
like
you-
Civilization.
I'm trying to
your
think, how
Roller
would you
Coaster
use it?
Tycoon.
Hold
Tabletop.
your-
So So
Hold
them
your
having
king.
that
I need to visualize
stand,
this.
like they have it, that tabletop kind of stand, 100%. We're going to see in
Keyboard.
their, we're going to see when they do their big blowout in April, that they're going to set it on a table. They're going to have someone seated, have that kickstand out. They're going to have somebody moving their Joy-Con around like a mouse, and they're going to be doing a couple things. One, yeah, they're going to play Civilization. Two, they're going to play
And
an
they load up Final
FPS.
Fantasy 14.
They
Play it on
could.
Switch too.
They could. They
That would be
could.
nuts.
It's powerful enough. You can play it on. It's powerful enough
PS4.
because. Yep.
Yeah.
They're going to
true.
have an FPS, and you're going to be able to on Switch just absolutely burn the Xbox and PlayStation players because you are using a mouse on your Switch.
It is a Bluetooth mouse though.
Fair. We'll see. Yeah, you're right. There's gonna be some latency there.
I wonder.
Maybe they don't do that, but I
I'll
will
need to
tell
see
you.
it work in action because that does not look comfortable to hold the buttons on. You know what? Actually,
Oh, and
Bo,
you
hold
can see the
your
thing-
Joy-Con to the side real quick. How does that feel like if you were to put it on top and have your hands on the buttons?
Well, again, this is a different size, and the buttons are
Yeah.
slightly different shaped than what they are before. You can kind of see them here a little bit.
You know what? That actually sets up a pretty good amount.
Yep.
Yeah. You
but-
use this as like a clicker, maybe,
Okay.
for like a mouse.
Their killer app, and I hope they show this there. I feel like they've got to. We are going to get the revitalization of Mario Paint. 100%. Take it to the bank. We're getting Mario Paint on the Nintendo Switch 2.
Wow.
100%.
That would be
I
hilarious.
believe in it. I believe in
I
it.
love that.
Or it's going
Just-
to be like a little mini game kind of thing in another game, but in some way, shape, or form, they're showing Mario Paint with this little mouse functionality. But yeah, your stuff like Civ and whatnot, I think that's what they're really aiming for with
Yeah,
this.
and they got a new
they'll
Civ
have their
coming
own
out, so
logo
they
mix
might
for
be
it.
that might be a thing they actually show at the direct.
Let's continue on forward here. Oh, this is where we see them kind of snap in, right? They're gonna show off the magnetism.
Yeah, you'd have to intentionally try to
Yeah, you have to like
break it to.
probably.
And then we have, and this is where they're going to cut. This is the Super Bowl commercial here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Pause. I need to see Donkey
Here's the
Kong.
thing. Okay, so we'll see.
Oh
Donkey
yeah,
Kong
yeah.
just
I do
playing
want to
here.
see Donkey Kong.
Let's take Mario Kart 9 or 10, frame by frame here. So let's go for just a tiny bit here. So first, well, Mario Kart World Tour.
Yeah, I know.
So I think
it's
they
just
would call
funny
this
to
Mario
hear
Kart 10.
people call it. Yeah.
Wait, what
Yep.
about the Mario Kart where you could use your little physical cars?
So
So it's Mario Kart 11, right?
Oh,
really quick.
Didn't think about that, did you? Is that still
God.
supported?
Okay, this will work. So, a couple things right off the bat here that I noticed. One, the dream is dead, because here's the thing. Tell me what's better than Mario Kart Double Dash?
Mario Kart Double Dash 2.
Mario Kart Triple Dash. And we're not getting Mario Kart Triple Dash. So the dream is dead. This game is
Double Dash has
F
a
tier.
single mode.
This game is mid.
crazy
Okay.
thing I just noticed. Look at how many spots there are for the cars.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to point out there. That is 24 spots for vehicles.
Wow.
All that-
24-man races. Oh man,
24
that's
man
gonna
races.
be insane.
You and 23 of your closest friends brought it down.
Looks
You're
it
going to
up.
go.
Where are they?
Right. Yeah, that little gif of I'm sorry, it's so late. I cannot remember people's names. You know the guy.
Ron James.
No, Face Off and
Nicolas Cage.
and
John
Nicolas
Travolta?
Cage's count. Thank you, John Travolta.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
so
yeah,
many
Pulp
movies I
Fiction.
could have gone with,
There you
and
go.
Face Off was the
Yeah.
one that was coming to me. Yeah,
You're
it's
probably
from
thinking
Pulp
of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, the GIF was from Pulp Fiction. But anyways, Mario Bros. Circuit. This is 100% a new map. We've not seen this one before.
Yeah, definitely
and
new one.
I like all the little brands here. We see Luigi tires. We see Mario Motors. Yeah, Mario Bros. Circuit is what we've got here.
A lot of the brands have been in. They were in A Deluxe.
It looks like that. Like you guys
Yeah.
know Mario Party.
Yeah, that's true.
Mario Party 2, maybe the one where they have like the Western town.
Never heard of it. What's a Mario Party?
No, the map.
Kidding.
It
Yeah,
does
where
kind of
it's like
remind
Western.
me of. There's a track from 64 that looks like this, the desert one, and it's got the train.
Also, I'm gonna mute this video as we're
I
playing
know
through it.
I know the name, but it's not coming to me.
There's
Everybody
DK,
else
by
knows
the way,
probably.
here.
We need a better angle. Forward.
Yep, we're gonna continue forward
I need to
here.
see what they made him look like the regular old.
Well, real quick, this
His
Mario
eyes
is
look really close together
well,
in that shot.
So we've got
Well, they
we've got
got
a
a new
new
voice actor, so
we've got a new model for Mario here. This is a little extra
yeah, you're
plump.
right.
You can see the way his cheeks are coming out. They made him a little more, not necessarily like they made him like Wonder because the shading is totally different, but he's got the puffy cheeks. He's got the eyes closer together. They're definitely going a little bit of a different direction with him. So I'm curious when we get to see full models for everybody else, what they're going to be doing going forward with some of these guys. But yeah, if we continue forward here, oh, did we miss Donkey Kong?
no,
We'll see. We might see.
He'll be on the
back.
big screen.
Oh, there he is.
there?
Yep, there
Oh,
he
man,
is.
it's so
Actually, we
hard to
might.
tell.
Oh, here's
He's
another
the-
picture of Mario here.
It looks like the Donkey Kong.
I think we
like,
get a little closer.
arcade version.
Yeah,
Oh, it does.
the old
yeah.
school Donkey Kong. Is
So I
that it
think
for
what are
this
they?
here?
So that's not even the new Donkey Kong remake, like rework. That's just like you can play
Yeah, so
as
here's
that
It's a
version.
different skid. Yeah.
So that's what I'm.
Great, they
that's-
made the Seth
wow.
Rogen Donkey Kong.
Yeah,
in the
that
game.
looks really different. Wow.
That's what I'm hoping for. So with this, there is. I'm hesitantly on board. If they, if this is, how do I want to put it? Oh, actually, sorry, you guys talk. I gotta check some real quick. You guys can discuss
yeah.
how you guys do look.
He's got like the really deep set, like square eyes almost.
Yeah, I doubt that's. I doubt
And he's
because
huge. Like he's just.
yeah, that's got to be just him being the character. Like he's because I guess the like the mainline Donkey Kong is actually Donkey Kong Jr.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
maybe it's
and I think Cranky is
not the
this guy. If I again Piantopedia, he's the guy I watched, but he was saying that yeah, Cranky is the original Donkey Kong and the current one is Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if
Yeah, I think
this
they
is,
cover that in DK64.
I'm with Matthew that I
Yeah.
think that there's a good chance that this is just an alternate skin form. Although it's, you would think you would have your main Donkey Kong in here to show off. And since they're clearly updating Mario a little bit as well, makes me think that this might just be him going forward. But there's one of two ways to go. This is either a really awesome addition, or it is a really terrible reversion / replacement.
Yeah.
I really
Yep.
hope this is not Donkey Kong going forward. There's rumors going around
I
about
doubt it.
A Mario and Donkey Kong 3D follow-up to Odyssey, and there was just some rumors floating around, nothing substantial, but there was talks about new models for the characters, and this is interesting. They actually said to make them more similar to the movies, which I can kind of see a little bit, but I mean that not the movie didn't go this far. This just looks like the old school Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
So as we continue through here, I'm going to say some kind of bold. Now,
does they have a new controller holder too? It kind of holds it more up.
Oh yeah. This you can kind of see
Yeah,
back
a little
here.
bit. It's not
This
as
is
angled.
this is a little more sleek as well. So kind of watched through this clip here. Again, our frame rate stuff isn't going to be super amazing, but I watch the lighting and the shading as we're going through here. I don't think that this is 4K, but what I do think, this is ray tracing active.
Yeah, it might be.
I think so. 'Cause there's a couple things that show it off to me. There's some there's a little bit of some lens flares going on. We're also seeing the as we here. Oh, there's more coming through here. You can see the reflections of the boosts off of the concrete differently than it looks on other textures and stuff like that. There seems to be a lot of dynamic lighting across the screen here. To me, this looks like ray tracing active here. I'm sure they'll talk about it if it's going on. They would not miss a chance to talk about that, but that is not Mario Kart 8 lighting.
Yeah.
This is this is nothing Nintendo has done.
Yeah.
This is very dynamic.
Yeah, they gave him the creeper eyes, man.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
But this looks like it's more than just like, yeah, we did something, interesting with the engine. Like this, to me, I mean, looking at the vehicles and everything, this to me screams.
I was thinking
RTX
it was.
on.
I was thinking it was just pre-rendered footage, but when they do
this
the transition,
is 100% in engine. Yeah.
Yeah. But when they did the
so
transition to like the out wide, it looked a little more smooth than it would if it was pre-rendered. Like watch.
Let's just watch this whole section one more time here while you're talking through it. You can tell us what you're seeing, Matt.
So that's smooth. I thought for a second I was like, oh, they could just be engine stuff, but then when they actually when they go to the TV and they do like the out wide, yeah, see, this is a little too smooth, like the camera, and yeah, like it kind of looks like it's in like a replay thing.
Yeah. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're using replay. I mean, it can be in engine and they get to control the camera independently of everything. Like in engine versus pre-rendered just means is it running in engine or not. Some cutscenes are in engine. That doesn't mean that you get to control things, and things that are in engine can look better in a cutscene than in your regular gameplay. It's all still in engine, but this is very much like, yeah, this is in engine. This is something that they just created. Granted, I don't think that there's necessarily. Oh, yeah, I love this. Nice yeah, Yoshi's, and also, are we gonna get a good look at this here? Do I need to rewind a little bit? Can we get a side view of it? I don't think.
Oh, and there's like a burger as the cover. I just noticed that.
Yeah, so there's a burger there, but. If you look at this here, is this kind of two eyes and the Yoshi snout?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And there's like a little, like the little frill in the back too. Like if you look a little bit. That's hilarious.
I think I'm seeing. Yeah, that's really clever. Yeah,
that is. Yeah.
Anyways, I don't think that this necessarily confirms that it's a launch title, but I think it's. I'm of two minds of this.
Yeah.
One, of course, you've got to show the next Mario Kart because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is one of the best-selling games of all time and the best-selling Nintendo game of all time, first party. I know that Tetris did a lot for him across multiple things, but this is so it makes sense that you want to lead off with your biggest seller. There's so many families who have the Switch because of Mario Kart. At the same time, do you really want your first look to be a game that's like coming out much later? Like, no. I feel like this game is this year.
This game's probably coming this year.
I feel I am leaning heavily towards this being the launch title. Part of me is like, hey, it could be later on because
Well, it'd either be launch or Christmas, right?
I mean, well, you don't launch at Christmas. You try to get all your games out by
the game would either be launched like the game's either coming out at launch or for the Christmas run.
Yeah, Nintendo, outside of smaller releases and Pokemon, they tried to get everything out by October.
Okay.
The only thing that
Yeah.
the only big game that they'll let go out into November is Pokemon. But people kind of expect that because it was annualized for so long. I mean, even the spin-offs are coming out in November. But I mean, hey, we'll see that next one this year too. So yeah, I mean, this is either I feel like this has got to be this year. I'd be surprised if this was October. Well, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if this was October. I think it's launch, but I could see it being as late as October. I'd be surprised
it's
if
probably
we did
October.
see it this year. But
the giant mushroom buildings in the background are pretty cool.
these over here,
Yeah,
I think
it's
those are
probably just
like
the background, but it's really like they're huge.
yeah, I think that these are just like stone mesas,
Yeah,
rather than actual like buildings. But I guess we'll see.
there's a couple of them that have like doorways.
Oh, really?
If you look closely, yeah, it's
Are
really
we
hard to
able to
see
get a
it.
little
So you have
closer on
to,
them? Oh, gotcha.
or maybe my eyes are
here,
playing
huh?
tricks. I don't know. It looks like a door to me.
I haven't seen anything. I'm sure that there's going to be plenty of
Yeah,
deep
there's
dives
somebody
on
who's
this.
gonna zoom in, and yeah, of course.
Yep, 2025 and everything else we talked
Heck
about.
yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2 and what we have so far?
There's one thing I want, and one thing only.
A mug root beer?
Two things I want and two things only. One is a
beef
mug
hot
root
dog?
beer. There's three things I want and three things only. One is a dog in a mug. That's two. The third, I want themes. I want more than just black or white.
Man. That was one feature that was so weird on the Switch One. They had that section for
if you
themes,
boot that
and
up
then they
on
didn't
launch
do
day
anything
and
with
it's
it.
the same UI, I'm gonna be mad.
So
There's no way it's the same UI. It's probably different.
at CES, Consumer Electronics Show, we had folks like
Linus Tech Tips.
like Genki out on the show floor with the actual Switch, like the physical thing in their hands and them showing it off to people, and they are saying dynamic themes.
Okay.
Right on. All right.
Just something that's not black and white is fine with me.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, again, this isn't like none of this is confirmed until Nintendo says it because they can have like I mean they flick a switch for so many things, right? They have the power to be able to do that with their UI because they can be like, hey, you're not going to play anything until you download an update here. That's just removed. Or it's not on there until you install a certain update or something like that.
Or it's a part of Switch Online membership.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
will we get a new
dynamic
standards
themes
and practice
sound
with the new
possible,
Switch?
So what's that?
Will we get a new standards and practice with the new Switch?
Who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows?
Easy money though if they're selling
Yeah,
themes.
I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite part about PlayStation is like every game had its own like theme on the PS4.
Yeah.
Or not every game, but a lot of them.
And now on PS5, there's no themes.
Yep. No, they got you can have the little Astrobot or you can have the beach.
Yeah. Oh yeah, on the explore menu. Yeah. That's true.
I don't like this. It really is
Alright.
just free money.
Yeah, it is.
Alrighty. Well, I think that is going to do it with our live reaction and frame by frame analysis of the new Switch trailer. I'm sure that somebody else is going to find some cool stuff that we'll talk about in the future with this.
For sure.
But until then,
I'm
looks
sure they
like
already
they're
have.
going quiet on things until April 2nd. Again, I'm banking on that last half being used as a Super Bowl commercial. And, the kids who are just kind of hanging out, frustrated to be there, they're going to see the new Mario Kart pop up on screen. They're like, that's new one. That's new one. We got to get it. We got to get it. I'm going to be that kid. And again on price point, I would put money on 400 for this. I would love it to be 350. I think there's a solid chance of 350, but my money is on 400. That's what I'm preparing for. I'm going to start setting aside that 400. Yeah. That way, when they hopefully in April drop the stuff for like pre-sale and stuff like that, I can get it right away. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Depends on how things go. We'll see. And I'm sure everybody now is starting to figure out a plan for what they want to do. At least the diehards. Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to say, "I don't need these new games right away," and the upgrades on this do look fairly marginal. I mean, it's going to be enough that you're going to be able to play a lot of third party now, at least from what's been leaked. We'll know for sure in April.
A lot of one thing that's underrated. A lot of the Switch probably has the best. I don't know what the term is. But like the third party support, like they got Kingdom Come Deliverance, at least able to be booted on it. So, sure. And I was on the Switch, so I think you'll see a lot more because
Witcher 3 was on the Switch, so I'm assuming Cyberpunk will be here.
Yeah,
I think that
totally.
I think it is a realistic comparison to put this kind of between. We'll kind of put it in the same general category as like the Xbox Series S. That $300 one,
power wise,
which I hear people throwing around. I saw comments, estimating that this would be like people were saying at least 500, and I'm like, let's hold up, guys. Way. Remember that the Series S only costs $300.
Yeah,
we just need whatever they need to be able to do to put it on a screen and make it handheld. Which that is not going to be.
I believe the original Steam Deck.
There's no way. The
baseline was 400. So I don't think they're going to go 500.
So
sounds crazy.
That amount, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. If you've been watching, we're glad you stayed with us through our I feel like an hour 40 and a half. Hour 40 minutes. Wow. All right. First episode. This is a long one. This is probably not going to be typical for us, but it's a big day for America and the world at large. So if you're watching, consider subscribing. Actually, just subscribe and consider it later. And we will
leave a like,
talk to you soon.
Anything helps.
Yeah, leave a comment and let us know what you think about
the Switch 2.
You gotta pick something really good, something controversial that people will start yelling at each other in the comments, right?
Let me know if you're looking forward to amiibos on the Switch 2.
There's not going to be amiibos, and I will fight you to the death on it.
What do you think that button was for? That's the amiibo button.
Well, we'll see. What are your predictions on the C button?
What are your predictions
on price?
It's the character button. Gotta put your characters on.
Character button. Yeah, there you go.
Counterpoints. The C is actually a panic button. It calls the cops.